Hey everybody, welcome to Case by Case. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. We will get started at 1 p.m. sharp, but in the meantime, we are going to watch through the timed videos based on the state's narrative, where Rick Allen drove to the CPS lot, his walk to Freedom Bridge, the walk on the trails, all of the things that they never proved that Rick Allen actually did. So I will see you at 1 o'clock. Enjoy.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared I walk a straight path. Not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Face on when I chase like that, yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me slack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. That's how you get tough, calluses on my hands so rough. Yeah, I call your bluff, I'm not the one. Mess with me, come out with none, cause I'm so done. You had your fun, and now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip with your name on it, but I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
You run that mouth, but I see the need. Body talking louder than what you plead. You like rough hands and a voice that growls. You ain't innocent, you crave it foul. Don't play shy when you drop that text. Come through, girl, you know what's next. Wanna look down and your knees go weak. Say let's bite hard, don't you dare speak. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this. You know the rest, no need to guess. I lead you more, no time to beg. Back arched up with a grip on your leg. STFUATTDLAGG. You know the drill, be a good girl for me. No talking, no fuss, just that deep, deep please. Shut the fuck up and take it like you need. I don't ask twice, I don't do nice. Choke onto me for that heat, that vice. Choke on rhythm, ride that bass. I give you filth wrapped in grace. You love that edge, that voice, that bite. Beg for the dark, not the candlelight. So turn around, hands to the floor. Good girls take it and then one more. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this. You know that line you always miss. No slow, no safe, just grip and go. You lose yourself when I take control. STFUATTDLAGG. Tattoo it deep where you feel me breathe. You don't need words, just this beat and me. Shut the fuck up and take it like the freak you want to be. Don't talk, don't ask. Just open up and take what you've been begging for. You follow orders, I deliver pressure. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this D. One more thrust, one more cry. You want it real, now feel me inside. STFUATTDLAGG. No goodbyes, just grip and repeat. So hush, baby girl, don't lose your streak. Shut the fuck up and take it like you read.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. That is your chance to be ruthless.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. It's your chance to be ruthless. It's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me make it, they don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared I walk a straight path. Not many can say that. I'd like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I
think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I won't give back up. Cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Then it's your chance to be ruthless. I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Face on when I chase like that, yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me slack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. That's how you get tough, calluses on my hands so rough. Yeah, I call your bluff, I'm not the one. Mess with me, come down with none. Cause I'm so done, you had your fun. And now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip with your name on it. But I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
Real quick, guys, we might start a few minutes after 1 because I want this video to play in its entirety. So I must have misgauged the length of the video. So bear with me, but watch it and you're going to see with the timestamps next to the walk how Betsy Blair could not have done her full complete loop like she said. So when we actually are live, questers here in the background, let me know what you think, let me know what you think it means. Does it challenge her credibility? Does it just mean the times are off, which is where I'm leaning. So yeah, let's just keep watching.
You run that mouth, but I see the need. Body talking louder than what you plead. You like rough hands and a voice that growls. You ain't innocent, you crave it foul. Don't play shy when you drop that text. Come through, girl, you know what's next. Wanna look down and your knees go weak. Say less, bite hard, don't you dare speak. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this. You know the rest, no need to guess. I lead you more, no time to beg. Back arched up with a grip on your leg. STFUATTDLAGG. You know the drill, be a good girl for me. No talking, no fuss, just that deep, deep please. Shut the fuck up and take it like you need. I don't ask twice, I don't do nice. Choke onto me for that heat, that vice. Choke on rhythm, ride that bass. I give you filth wrapped in grace. You love that edge, that voice, that bite. Beg for the dark, not the candlelight. So turn around, hands to the floor. Good girls take it and then one more. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this. You know that line you always miss. No slow, no safe, just grip and go. You lose yourself when I take control. STFUATTDLAGG. Tattoo it deep where you feel me breathe. You don't need words, just this beat and me. Shut the fuck up and take it like the freak you want to be. Don't talk, don't ask. Just open up and take what you've been begging for. You follow orders, I deliver pressure. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this D. One more thrust, one more cry. You want it real, now feel me inside. STFUATTDLAGG. No goodbyes, just grip and repeat. So hush, baby girl, don't lose your streak. Shut the fuck up and take it like you're weak. Run that mouth, but I see the need. Body talking louder than what you plead. You like rough hands and a voice that growls. You ain't innocent, you crave it foul. Don't play shy when you drop that text. Come through, girl, you know what's next. Wanna look down and your knees go weak. Say less, bite hard, don't you dare speak. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this. You know the rest, no need to guess. I lead you more, no time to beg. Back arched up with a grip on your leg. STFUATTDLAGG. You know the drill, be a good girl for me. No talking, no fuss, just that deep, deep please. Shut the fuck up and take it like you need. I don't ask twice, I don't do nice. Choke onto me for that heat, that vice. Choke on rhythm, ride that bass. I give you filth wrapped in grace. You love that edge, that voice, that bite. Beg for the dark, not the candlelight. So turn around, hands to the floor. Good girls take it and then one more. STFUATTDLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this. You know that line you always miss. No slow, no safe, just grip and go. You lose yourself when I take control. STFUATTDLAGG. Tattoo it deep where you feel me breathe. You don't need words, just this beat and me. Shut the fuck up and take it like the freak you want to be. Just open up and take what you've been begging for. You follow orders, I deliver pressure. STFUATTTLAGG. Shut the fuck up and take this D. One more thrust, one more cry. You want it real, now feel me inside. STFUATTTLAGG. No goodbyes, just rip and repeat. So hush, baby girl, don't lose your streak. Shut the fuck up and take it like you're weak.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Face on when I chase like that. Yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me stack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. That's how you get tough. Calluses on my hands so rough, yeah, I call your bluff. I'm not the one, mess with me, come down with none. Cause I'm so done, you had your fun. And now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip, put your name on it. But I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Time staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
Hi guys. I paused the video right there simply because I don't know what Quester has planned for the rest of the day for Father's Day. And I'm running over. For some reason, I thought I had it timed at 29 minutes, so I started it at 12:30. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I will finish the end of the live with the rest of the video for those who want to stay and watch it. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Father's Day. Oh. Happy Father's Day to all of you. And even if you're a mom who is wearing both pairs of shoes, happy Father's Day to you too. Let me bring on my buddy. Hello, Quester. Happy Father's Day.
Hi, Amy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Did you have anything special planned today?
No, nothing.
No?
No.
Well,
not that big a deal, is it?
No, I think it's a big deal. I think Father's Day is a really big deal, just like Mother's Day. But some people don't go all out for it, so I get it. I got him some flowers actually, and I got up this morning and fixed him a special breakfast. So there it is.
Well, you're a father every day of the year, and you're a mother every day of the year. So
yeah, so it depends on who you are. So welcome in everybody in the chat. And we've had in the last week, I've had a lot going on. I'm back to work, and everything is kind of, since I was off for a while, now that I'm back, long story short, our hours have been cut. So that's why I don't know what my schedule is going to be from one day to the next, which is fine. I'll adjust. But that's why my lives have been kind of sporadic, because I have to have advance notice before I just go live and try to wing it. That's difficult. I'm glad everybody liked the interview that was on America Betrayed. We are recording part 2 today at 4:30. So I don't know if that will be uploaded tonight or tomorrow. And then tomorrow, I'm actually going live with Bob Ruff from Truth and Justice to talk about Ashley Garth's case. Super, super excited and grateful for that opportunity. And I hope, I don't know, I hope that more people will fall over into understanding why I fight for her so hard. Going into the next couple of weeks, as you guys can see, we took last week off on the Delphi Vault because I feel like we've gone over every facet of this case, and we don't want to keep being repetitive. However, we want to keep the case in the spotlight, keep the case in the forefront, especially with oral arguments coming up. So we've been kind of, going back through all of the different information that we have. I have actually went back through and did kind of a tally, and I've came to the conclusion that the Delphi Vault episode 17 has been categorized as the most important favorite vault. We went over the CAD report. We went over supplemental reports in that episode. So if you haven't watched the Delphi Vault episode 17, I guess I should encourage you to do that, because I have everything that we've done. We have a lot of ratings, and 17 seems to be up there as far as, being the best one. So anywho, Quester, before we get started diving into what we're going to talk about today, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'll just have to go and have a look at Vault 17, see what it said. So long ago.
I know. Today is episode 47. That is amazing. It's amazing that we've been able to keep it going this long.
Yeah, and you've been dragging me in since about number 10, haven't you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So super grateful for how we were brought together, and super grateful that you're here. Thankful for all the mods in chat, all of you subscribers. I enjoy spending time with all of you guys. If I could do it every day, I would. I just have to have the information. And if you guys haven't, Quester and I are we know the Delphi Vault is a favorite. And the Delphi case is a favorite. But there's a lot of other cases out there that need scrutiny and oversight. And we're digging into different facets of different areas. I'm like this right here, Quester. This big stack of papers right here.
Is that all?
That's all. We're looking. We want to help. That's HELP is something that we want to do. And I don't know, helping the wrongfully convicted it's a fantastic privilege. It gives you insight to the justice system, because everybody that's been wrongfully convicted has been wrongfully convicted for different reasons. It's not always corruption. There's different reasons. So working on different cases helps us learn. And going forward, the justice system needs to be, it needs to be revised. There needs to be some better outlets for people who have been convicted, shorter outlets and avenues for them to pursue to, either prove their innocence or guilt or not. And so going forward, when you see that Case by Case is live. Please come over and hop in, like it, subscribe, help us build the community because Delphi is not going to last forever. Eventually, I believe Rick Allen will be found innocent, and we will then pursue pushing for a new investigation to give Abby and Libby real justice. But in the meantime, we want to do more. So we need your support with that. So today, what we're going to talk about is, and I want to make this very clear for anyone who's listening or lurking that's not a subscriber or a channel member. Everything that we've gone over in this case has all been, I'm going to be flat out honest, and we've said it time and time again, it's speculation, because we have been given very little guidance in this phone data expert forensic evaluation, the crime scene evidence, the phone data as far as the geofence, as far as photographs, videos being taken. We've had to take what's been available to us and dissect it. We are not always right. However, what our job is, as I guess you would call us armchair sleuths, investigators, our job is to keep your critical minds thinking and make sure that you understand that all of the information that we have available is not definitive. I don't care what side of the fence you fall on, whether you believe Rick Allen is guilty or whether you believe Rick Allen is innocent. The point of the matter is he did not get a fair trial. And opening every single door throughout this entire case, showing you why things should be questioned, showing you how things don't add up, showing you why the timeline doesn't work. Whether you agree with us or not doesn't matter. It's the fact that we are opening that window to you to say, oh, yeah, we weren't ever given factual information. They didn't prove that. They just said it. So like in everything else, words matter. And just because the words are spoken doesn't make it true. And that goes for a Snapchat photo that has circulated around the internet for years without an actual timestamp, without it being found in any phone extraction. That means the cache, file upload, media upload, camera interaction. There is no factual proof that that photo of Abby was taken at 2:07 p.m. An app being in the foreground is not indicative to a photo being taken. We see no upload. We see no thumbnail creation. We see no media file created. And even Cecil himself admitted in his deposition that the only source of that photo was from online. And the screenshot of the photo, there's two. I have seen one that says 5 hours ago, and I have seen one that says 7 hours ago. 5 hours ago from when? 7 hours ago from when? The state decided, based on app interactions without any indicative factual proof that there was a photo taken, they assigned 2:07 p.m. to the photo of Abby on the bridge. Now, you can correlate that to, okay, well, the next thing that happened on the phone was the BG video. Okay, well, we've already gone over how quickly, if the 2:07 photo was correct, how quickly Abby made it across the bridge from the 2:05 and 10-second empty bridge photo to then the Abby on the bridge 2:07 photo was like 2.5 minutes. Yet it from 2:07 to 2:13, it took her over 6 minutes to get from almost the third platform to the end of the bridge. She had a little over of a quarter of the bridge to complete the distance before the BG video started. It doesn't add up. And I'm not saying that the information that the state in the Cecil report, the Knowledge C, the Axiom, the Cellubrite, Bonner's report, what I'm saying is they did not definitively prove a goddamn thing, except this photo was not taken on Libby's phone. That's a fact. And if it was, then they need to explain why they were not able to locate it in any area of the phone, in the database, in the forensic extraction, why they were not able to identify the timestamp of that phone or of that photo. And the crazy thing is that photo has been up in the air, questionable since day one. Everyone has accused that photo before any of us knew that the photo wasn't on the phone. There was no record of that photo being taken. There was no thumbnail. There was no media file. There was no data, metadata on that phone or on that photo. Everybody was questioning the photo from day one. And isn't it bizarre that we get to trial and we find out everybody was right? There was reasons to question that photo. And here we are still having to be hand-fed bullshit by the state because they're telling us the photo was taken at 2:07 and 3 seconds. Why? Because there was an app in the foreground on Libby's phone? But they didn't tell you the rest of the story. They didn't tell you the rest of the reasons why we should question that photo. They needed that photo, like the pixelated black car photo that they claimed was Rick Allen's on the Hoosier Harvest Store camera. They needed us to believe that it was his car. However, they weren't held accountable to show us that black car actually parked at the CPS building. They weren't held accountable to show us how that black car left that CPS location. Which way did it go? What time did it leave? They were never held accountable. They've never been held accountable to explain why Libby's phone had Find My iPhone activated, and they couldn't find my iPhone. We've got the AT&T report, and at 2:32, the state tells us the girls are both deceased, and the phone that Libby owned was underneath Abby. So the phone's stationary. It's not going anywhere. 2:32, the phone should be there. Yet we have the phone and the AT&T report with numerous different coordinates showing where the phone was pinging. Now, don't get it twisted. That doesn't necessarily mean the phone was moving everywhere. There was only one cell tower in Delphi at the time that worked, and that was at Wells Street. And that cell phone, if it wasn't moving and it was recalibrating, re-downloading, interactions with the phone were happening, which we know people were calling, people were texting, Facebook messages were coming and going. Well, not going, but they were coming in. We have SMS messages. We have Snapchat people messaging. The phone is recalculating its whereabouts, but not once in that whole entire evening did that phone actually designate a location with GPS coordinates at the crime scene. It was everywhere else. Does that mean that the phone wasn't there? No, not necessarily. But it means that someone owes us a big explanation. And that goes without saying. If you have a guilty person, for anyone listening who believes that Rick Allen is guilty, do you need to lie, hide, delete, or pull unethical maneuvers to prove a guilty man is guilty. Do you have to do all of those things? If you have a guilty man, the evidence should support such guilt. Yet, they did all 4 of those things. And who's going to hold them accountable? Amy, do you know why Robert Ives retired with a year left? He said personal and private matters that he didn't want to say or concern make anyone feel guilty. He wrongly assumed DC Bean would take over. Skeptic curiosity, that is an argument that I will raise. And I in this case particularly, I feel like someone like Robert Ives, someone like Judge Diener had baggage being held over their head. And with Robert Ives, I don't particularly know what it was, but he was hell-bent on going and doing interviews, discussing the Delphi case, putting out information that the public needed to hear, including his non-secular statement that somehow disappeared. I don't care what anybody says. I watched that interview, and Robert Ives said the crime scene was indicative of non-secular appearance. And then he backtracked after that statement was taken off the internet. It was scrubbed. And I'm sorry, but the fact that Nick McClellan rolled in on his high horse without an election and Robert Ives just kind of faded away into the smoke, we can make all the accusations that we want, but the musical chairs in that county of the roles that everyone has been playing speaks for itself. And then Judge Diener. Did Judge Diener realize that Rick Allen actually had an attorney when that safekeeping order hearing happened? Did Judge Diener realize that Rick Allen had been booked into a county jail under a false name so no one could find him, including his attorney and his wife? And he was shipped off ASAP to a maximum security prison without any trial, without a hearing, with an attorney present. Maybe Judge Diener thought the shit was going to hit the fan. Who knows? He stepped down and moved away and opened the door for good old Shane, the mayor of Delphi, to resign as the mayor and step up to the plate and become a member of the prosecution team who did absolutely nothing during the whole course of the investigation and the pretrial hearings and the trial. He did nothing. And now he's a judge. Quester?
Yep. I think somebody in excuse me, in chat was asking whether the SIM was removed. I believe we dealt with that quite a few votes back, but I'll give a short version.
What was that? What was the question?
It was let's see if I can find it again. Was the SIM card removed?
We talked about that.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot 100% prove that it was or it was not. However, the data from the from the extraction on the morning of the 14th is quite useful. Now, in his deposition on 2024, Cecil said that he used the tool SimCon to look at the SIM card. He didn't generate a report from it, funnily enough. in any event, that does not actually tell you whether it was taken out and put back in. But there is sorry?
No, go ahead.
But there is sort of a back doorway of telling what's going on. That's because if a SIM card is removed, the iOS will immediately lose its subscriber ID, obviously, so it can't talk to the carrier. Now, that isn't always stored in the user level logs, but what you will see is an absence on any further carrier interaction until a SIM card is put back in. Now, when a new or reinserted SIM is detected, the phone system will create a new carrier settings profile. Yeah?
Yes, that was that. And the reason that we discussed that was because one of the indications for the welcome to the AT&T family network notification coming into the phone was one of the reasons that we would get that notification in the phone data was because a SIM card was reinserted to the phone.
Spot on. It will generate the family map registration messages, and those came in at 0433. They are only generated when a new SIM is put in or the old one is reinserted, and it was generated at 0433. So that backdoor information strongly suggests a SIM was inserted. It doesn't explicitly prove it, but it strongly suggests.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time as that family map verification, there was a sudden burst of incoming SMS and so on, wasn't there?
There was, like 15 of them.
Yeah. Just like what would happen if you put a SIM in after taking it out and leaving it for a while.
Right.
So in answer to that, I can't prove it 100%, but I'd put a bottom dollar on it that the SIM was taken out and another one or that one was reinserted. And
removing the SIM card, I mean, we know the groups of third-party suspects involved in this case and how all of them legitimately have a nexus, which is first and foremost the problem in this case. There should not be so many nexuses. Judge Gall's fallback on statement, there shouldn't be this many nexuses to different persons of interest in this case. And like I think a couple of lives ago, I basically dubbed Ron Logan the head of the snake because it was his land, his property, and there is indicative information out there where he could have had connections to all of these different groups and facets. And our job is not to prove. I mean, first of all, no one's given us a job. We've assigned the job to ourselves. We're here to find facts and put the facts out there and open the door to all of the reasons why a wrongful conviction, when you have a mishandled investigation, why it matters. And going back to what I said just a few minutes ago, you don't need to lie, hide, delete, do unethical maneuvers to find a man who's guilty. Those things it should be straightforward. You should have nothing to hide. And the state in this case literally played hide the ball from day one. And there's something that we can do about that now. Rick's been convicted. He is the guilty party in this case until a judge or jury says otherwise. But just remember that what would happen to you as an individual if one day someone knocked on your door and snatched you out of this world and put you in a maximum security prison under lock and key and videotape and drugged you without your consent. No, I don't think any of us can ever put ourselves in Rick Allen's shoes, and we shouldn't have to. And that is the point. Justice should not have to come through 10 back doors. It should be laid out fair and square. You did it, and we can prove it. It doesn't require cameras being off. It doesn't require video footage being hidden. It doesn't require, 70 days of investigative interviews being recorded over. It doesn't involve a tip that wasn't lost. The tip was actually documented. The Rick Allen went into the police station and interacted with, it appears, Jerry Holman face to face. And then Dan Doolin was assigned the interview, reach out to him. He came forward. Dan Doolin had Rick Allen's phone in his hand. Rick Allen handed over that phone, and it's in Dan Doolin's hand in front of the Save-A-Lot grocery store behind the CVS. The EMI number was written down. He was given access to scroll through the phone. He took down all of Rick's information, and the tip was handwritten, cleared, and then it was emailed after the fact to Jerry Holman. And now everybody's supposed to be up in arms over a lost tip. No, Rick Allen was a last resort, in my opinion. And even if you don't believe that, you have to agree that it was not Rick Allen's responsibility to put that 2017 phone up in a safekeeping box in his closet just in case. And let me also remind all of you that if you're a child killer and you went and visited your mom on February 13th of 2017, and you drove home, put on a jacket, bought beer, went out to the trails, and did the unthinkable on a whim, don't you think after 7 years, you would know where not to put yourself, what car not to put yourself driving? If you had a guilty conscience? He had 7 years to create a game plan. He had 7 years to separate himself from any facet of this case. Do you think that if Rick Allen, and I'm going to tell you right now, Rick Allen reminds me of my Mike. He's not internet savvy. He's not internet or social media interested. These types of cases don't really tickle his funny bone. He's not interested. And Rick Allen reminds me of that. His wife was at work. She claimed he was home asleep on the couch when she got home. If Rick Allen was guilty, why even bother informing your spouse, oh my God, I was there today? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to tell on himself. He didn't have to go forward to law enforcement and say, here, pick me. I was there. He didn't have to put himself in either vehicle that him and his wife owned. If he was the killer and he drove the Ford Focus, he had the ability to say, oh no, Kathy always drove the Ford Focus. I drove the other car. He would have had a game plan of where he parked and where he didn't park. But no, Rick Allen fell into the category of an innocent person who's trying to be helpful and be forthcoming and giving the detectives as much as information as he possibly could. And they cherry picked his statements and used it against him. So much for being an honest person. So much for speaking to law enforcement without an attorney. And that is the most important problem in this case. It's not necessarily if Rick is innocent or if Rick is guilty. It is the manner in which the government and the justice system can run roughshod over a normal citizen who is trying to do the right thing. And if you don't think that Rick was doing the right thing, you can't ignore that law enforcement was doing the right thing. And that's what matters. Hold them accountable. For the sake of Abby and Libby, they have to be held accountable. Either way you go, Rick deserves a real trial. He deserves a real defense. He deserves all of the facts to be laid out in this case. And then let the dominoes fall where they fall. But until that happens, there is a lot of us who are willing to argue these points, not just for Rick Allen, but for society as a whole. This kind of thing should not be allowed to happen. And when we still have states that support the death penalty, that makes it even more important. Quester?
Yeah, I agree. From my point of view, I'm not looking at the he's innocent or he's guilty at the moment. I'm starting off on them. It wasn't a fair trial. Let's get a fair trial up and find out whether he's innocent or guilty. If you can't do it fairly, then you can't do it. And if that means that a guilty man walks free, well, that's the justice system. Just because a policeman thinks somebody is guilty does not mean he is.
And I mean, and in a case like this where law enforcement had an unbelievable amount of time to build a case, there's no question that I believe the public was misled in this case. We were made to believe that this case was that it involved a large amount of people. We were made to believe that the Bridge Guy video was so horrific, they couldn't make any more of it public. We were made to believe that you heard Libby in the video make the statement, "That be a gun." It's not there. We were led to believe that there was other additional video footage from that day of the girls talking about being followed and doing, Jerry Holman in his famous quote, girl talk. Where is all that? I mean, was it a lie? Or did they just make it up? We were bamboozled from day one. And then in 2019, we were bamboozled again when they took the old Bridge Guy sketch and said, okay, this is no longer our primary suspect. Let me introduce you to the brown, poofy-haired, clean-shaven, good-looking 20-year-old. We're going in a different direction. Yet, after that press conference, they tried to re-emerge both sketches. When the shit hit the fan and people were like, what the hell is going on? What did Doug Carter say? A sketch is not a photograph. If you take both photos and you overlay them, you're going to see the same person. Really? So then, are you describing a father and a son? Because that really is the only alternative message that I'm getting out of that. But I know for a fact that in 2019, the change of direction press conference wasn't because they realized there was a father and a son possibly involved. And we all know who the father and son duo would be. But the fact of the matter is based on the law enforcement officers that I've spoken to from Carroll County who worked this case, have said emphatically the 2019 presser was because of the arrest of Garrett Kurtz and his connection to Ron Logan. So no, if the 2019 presser was to push everybody in the direction of let's dig into Garrett Kurtz, that takes away the aspect of a father and a son duo and puts us closer to the landowner, which is Ron Logan, where Garrett Kurtz worked, hung out. And who knows, was he working for meth? Was he supplying meth? We don't know. He has no alibi. But at the end of the day, the injuries to the girls are not what I would consider to be Garrett Kurtz's MO. He's more of a physical, hands-on, strangle you with his own bare hands type of guy. And he's too immature, and he's too much of a fabricator that at this point he wouldn't have been able to hide his involvement. He would have been pointing fingers at other people involved. He would have been telling on himself. I do not believe that Garrett Kurtz was bridge guy or someone involved in the crime. I do believe that he was a suspect, and he was the reason for the 2019 presser. I know for a fact that they got Garrett Kurtz's DNA, and we still have unknown male DNA at the crime scene that doesn't match anybody. Unknown is unknown, which means either they haven't tested everybody's buccal swab that they collected, or it means this is a suspect that we still haven't heard of. But we know straight up and down, it's not Rick Allen's. We know straight up and down, it's not Ron Logan's. Can we say that those two weren't involved? No, we can't. But
are you referring to the mitochondrial DNA they found?
So I'm referring to, so my understanding is that we have male DNA on specific parts of the girl's body that we were told by the ISP lab technician that we could just chalk it up to unknown. We could just chalk it up to DNA being transferred in a washing machine at the Patty's house. Unknown male DNA. Well, I want to know how many unknown males' clothing was washed in that washing machine. And why didn't we see Kelsey or Becky or Tara? Why didn't we see their DNA show up on different parts of the clothing that the girls were wearing? If we're supposed to believe that DNA is being transferred so easily in the washing machine. It's only male DNA and it's unknown male DNA. Well, did they not collect Mike Patty's DNA? Did they not collect Cody's DNA? Did they not collect Derek's DNA? And if they did, and they created a standard of DNA profile for each one of those males, why are we still left with unknown male DNA? Not in random places. Not in this case. It wasn't just in random places.
Well, if I remember right, that DNA that they found had the mitochondria, you get my tongue caught on that one, mitochondrial
Mhm.
tags of that Libby had. So therefore, you've got to look for males that come from the same maternal line that Libby would get her DNA from.
And they did not provide, they did not include that as a possibility. They
No, they
dubbed
didn't.
it unknown male DNA on both girls' breasts, both girls' private parts, and like I said, did the washing machine separate DNA? Well, it moved the female DNA to the extraction port in the washing machine. When it drained, it got rid of all of the female DNA and only kept the male DNA. Why don't we have other aspects of the female family members in the household DNA on the girls? And why are we still left with the title of unknown on the girls' private parts specifically? Well, I'm sorry. Just call it a leap of me trying to be a smart person. And I'm going to say we have unknown male DNA on both girls' breasts, both girls' vaginal parts, and in a couple other nefarious places. I'm going to suggest there was a person at the crime scene that was a male that at some point touched the girls, whether it was pre-mortem, post-mortem, doesn't matter. The DNA is there. And either this is an individual that has not been interviewed and a buccal swab taken, or it's someone that has been interviewed, a buccal swab was taken, and the buccal swab was never tested. We don't know for sure. And all I can say is that until we get a list over the course of 7 years before Rick Allen was arrested, until we have a list of everybody's DNA that was collected and was tested against the DNA at the crime scene, everybody's on the buffet DNA table, if you ask me.
Well, it can be narrowed down because we know it's it's somebody who shares the mother's side DNA or has the mother's side DNA, and it's someone who's firing blanks.
Well, okay. So that was something that Dr. Silkman discussed on the interview that we did with him probably over a year ago, and that was talking about the I guess you would call it sperm that had no DNA, and both girls, we were told that there was a rape kit done and both girls it was excluded that either girl had been sexually assaulted. But both girls had male DNA or not DNA, but what's the word? Is it secretion, sperm, whatever the word was,
Seminal fluid.
Seminal fluid. With no DNA. And, one of the miscular ideas is that, girls going through puberty create such a discharge that might be present. However, it was more likely that the person was shooting blanks. So you've got seminal fluid with no DNA. And that would indicate either a very young boy who's not fully developed, or it would indicate somebody who had a vasectomy But the bigger issue in that whole scenario to me is if the girls were sexually active, which I know that's a tricky topic, but if the girls were sexually active, were they sexually active with the same person? What are the odds of that? A non-secretor, just like Redacted said. Well, the seminal fluid that carries sperm would carry the DNA. That is the question. We just don't know. And a lot of things about the lab testing. In this case particular, there's additional testing available. There was additional testing that was made available. Why didn't the state pursue it? Why didn't ISP push for that?
Just to be pedantic, seminal fluid, the fluid does carry DNA. The spermatozoa, is in seminal fluid, and that contains DNA.
Unless you've had a vasectomy. Dr. Silkman has, Dr. Silkman stated.
Unless you've had a vasectomy or you've covered your weenie with the killer cream.
Okay, say that again, Quester.
You're imagining it now, aren't you?
Oh my God. That was great. So from speaking through different people, Rick Allen has not had a vasectomy. So as far as we know, he would not be shooting blanks. So that kind of eliminates that. And spermicide, Quester, that's what you're talking about, the spermicide.
That's the stuff.
There it is. He said, that's the stuff. That's it.
Yeah. The tadpole killer.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there was 70 hairs, rootless hairs. That's those hairs can be tested for mitochondrial DNA. You don't have to have a root, and you don't have to test all of them, and exhaust your source. We know there was a major clump of hair that was found at the north end of the bridge by the barrier that was collected. That was never discussed at trial, never. But when we're talking about all of these heartfelt and passionate, rigorous press conferences, and the killer could be in this room and somebody knows, why do we get to trial and the hair that was wrapped around Abby's finger hadn't been tested? I mean, I want to know who works as a crime scene tech, a prosecutor, or an ISP or an FBI investigator who can look at a hair at a murdered victim and go, oh, that hair's not important because we probably can prove that it belongs to a family member. So we're not going to bother testing it. That is the problem that I have. And at this point, with the crime scene, the way that it was, the way the girls were moved and staged, and the sticks placed in a particular fashion, the only testing that I would feel confident with would be MVAC. MVAC is you take an entire article of clothing, and the entire article of clothing is DNA tested. Because otherwise we're relying on a lab tech to determine which is the best part of the fabric to actually swab and test. Okay, well, if you take 10 little swabs off the front of your shirt, Don't you think that you might miss something? It's not their fault, but science has evolved so much that they have all of these different avenues they can pursue with DNA testing. In a case like this, where the state is willing to spend millions of dollars to prosecute a defendant, don't you want to be sure? It seems like they wanted to do everything but be sure. Oh my God, you're going to force us to test the hair on Abby's finger? That makes no sense to me. Leaving the sticks out there in the woods, that makes no sense to me. Not testing the articles of clothing or Abby's shoes for creek water, all of that, none of that makes sense to me. They had 7 years and really an unfathomable amount of state finances to utilize to complete this investigation. And do we really know when they realized the videos and the initial interviews at the very beginning of this case were recorded over? Do we really know what date they realized, holy shit, all of our initial interviews were just recorded over? Well, I don't think that we know what date that was, but when that date came and went, did they say, Jesus Christ, we have to pull all these people back in and send them back down and restart this investigation over again? That didn't happen. No, they played it off like, oh, well, it's not important. I mean, they were at Brad Holder's job the week of the 14th, investigating him. They were at the Weber property the week of, investigating him. Ron Logan was a viable suspect. Where are all these interviews? Just gone. And for everybody who thinks that Rick Allen is guilty, that's that little tiny word with the biggest meaning ever. If he's not guilty, no harm, no foul in questioning an investigation of a case like this and holding law enforcement and a prosecutor accountable to do their job. What is the problem with that? Question?
Well, why bother keeping transcripts or tapes? I mean, you've got the guy, so you can just destroy all the evidence because you don't need it. I feel it, isn't it? He's guilty. Don't bother about the evidence. Just believe us. The end.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, and that's the problem that I have with the whole situation is nobody sitting here in this chat or on this screen, me and Quester, nobody here wants anyone to get away with the deaths of Abby and Libby.
Well, for 2.5 weeks,
No.
every policeman in that place wandered down the corridor past this big flashy red light going at them for 2.5 weeks, and not one of them noticed the big flashy light that says there's a problem with the recording equipment. I presume they've got one in there.
The only alternative thing that I can believe is that once the investigation got underway and law enforcement learned what really transpired, you can take all of the ideas and all of the people of interest and all of the scenarios, and you can put them in one category. And then the other category, so we're talking 50% here, 50% there. 50% to me, that law enforcement in that small Carroll County, with that level of crime, meth dealing, law enforcement were on the take. They were getting paid to look the other way. Defense attorneys who grew up with the bad actors in the county and then became a defense attorney and then defended his friends and made sure his friends all, didn't see the cell block 1 at Westville. He fought tooth and nail. And then he became a prosecutor, because we cannot allow our dirty laundry to be revealed. To me, that's as plausible as a Rick Allen or a Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, a Ron Logan, an Elvis Fields, a Keegan Kline, a Tony Kline. You can put all of them compressed into this side of the category, but the only thing that makes it possible is when you have law enforcement working on your behalf. And Ron Logan was, to me, the head of the snake. He could have dealings with any of these people. And I want to know what made Nick McClellan go full tilt, full board, first thing out the gate, when becoming the Carroll County prosecutor without an election. His first case on his agenda was to get Ron Logan out of prison and bring him home. Why? Why? That if we can answer that, we can probably, close the hood on all of these different nexuses to understand what was really going on in that county. So, okay, we need to get into the heart of the topic today. So, hold on here. Wait a minute. Okay. Per read, the interview with Rod Amos was damning. Yeah. Laura, yeah. Yeah, the only reason why a prosecutor would bend over for a client who's in prison, because prosecutors aren't in the business to get people out of prison. They're in the business to put people in prison. It's more than likely that whatever dealings that Ron Logan had in the county would, if put out in the public domain, could probably hurt a lot of people. So I'm with you on that. Ron probably had something on Nick.
The most common reason for a prosecutor to get someone out of prison is because there's a deal being made.
Nomad Beads. Well, if that's the case, if you think this case has been solved, what is there to talk about? Why are you in the chat? The conversation shouldn't interest you. If you think the case has been solved, you're
Why
here.
waste your time being here? Yeah.
But I think, I think that you owe it to yourself to open your ears and open your eyes and pay attention when there is a massive amount of uproar of support for a man who has been convicted of doing the most horrible crime possible. We're here for a reason. And it's not because, this was a slam dunk case. This is a man who was yanked out of society 7 years after the fact, and not like nothing like anyone has ever seen before. Thrown into a county jail under a false name, was withheld from his attorney, shipped immediately off to a maximum security prison where he then begins to be put in solitary confinement for 13 months straight, injected with antipsychotic drugs. All while the prosecution, just let me remind everybody, half of this state's case was based on after Rick Allen was put in solitary confinement in a maximum security prison and injected with antipsychotic drugs. That's half their case. So there's a lot going on here that needs to be called out. So, Quester, I need to put some. I'm out of water. Take over for just 1 second while I go fill that up, please.
Righto.
And then we're going to get in. We're going to get into
We've got questions in the chat I can handle. Have we? Have we got any questions? Go on, third question, somebody. Nobody got any questions? Why can't they test why can't they test more DNA? Well, they could, but their excuse for that is they said they've only got a finite amount, and if they test it now, they won't have any for later, which seems a bit backward, doesn't it? We don't want to test the DNA now to find out who did it, because later on we might want to test it to find out who did it. Do we know for sure the early interviews really happened? Yes, we do. The people interviewed have said they were interviewed. Can I do a quick breakdown of why we are here? I can answer that very quickly. A fair trial. There's one thing that nobody can honestly deny is that it was not a fair trial. And what we're doing here is we're showing how it was not a fair trial. And we've done, 40 odd vaults, each one showing different ways in which it was not. What time was cheer practice? Don't know. Sorry. Who was eating pizza and watching movies on the 12th? We do have a list of them, but I haven't got it in front of me, but we do know who it was. Hopefully, given time, I can put that that list up to Amy and she can let you know. Employee DNA that showed up. I presume you're referring to the ISP trooper DNA that was found on one of the girls, that was excused off by them saying that he'd only joined them recently and his DNA wasn't in their records. That's why they weren't sure whose it was. Not quite sure why his DNA should have been on there. He should have known to wear gloves, etc.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, so what one of the main things that we were going to talk about today, well, as always, Quester has put together a massive document going back over.
Massive.
Well, yeah, it is.
It's only 400 pages.
It's not 400 pages. I keep getting asked the same question, how does this help Rick? How does this help Rick? Just let me remind you guys that in the past 15 years, high profile cases have been proven based on forensic phone data. I can think of two right now that all of you should be familiar with. One is the Alec Murdaugh case. Two is the Go-Go Beach killer. And the Go-Go Beach killer case dealt with a lot of burner phones that, when you go back in time, they precluded the Delphi case. They were able to start tracing burner phones. So Rex Heuermann would buy a burner phone and use it to do nefarious things, but at the same time, he had his own cell phone. But those phones traveled together. And they went all through Nassau County, all the way out there to Go-Go Beach. And they tracked that for years prior to Rex Heuermann actually being identified. Oh, thank you, Mother of Dragons. Thanks. So why in 2017 were we duped with the idea that, the cell phone information couldn't be factually tracked? And I've been in the last couple of days, not to be funny, but I love putting facts about this case out there in the atmosphere. And there's a Facebook group where there's a lot of people who believe that Rick Allen is guilty. And I like to just drop bombs, like, what about this? What about that? And there was somebody who made a comment today when I dropped the link for this live in the group, and I said, hey, 1:00, come and listen. And someone said, well, maybe I would come and watch if you could tell us why Rick Allen's phone wasn't, I guess, in the geofence. Well, who said it wasn't? I mean, whose phones were you told were in the geofence? Did we see it? Did we see a geofence map? Did we see a list of people identified in that area? We heard a couple of names, Daniel Pearson, Cheyenne, and I think I have blown both of those people's alibis and statements and testimony out of the water. But we do have this. At 12:39:54 p.m., we have an unidentified device within 60 to 100 yards of the crime scene. Whose phone's that? And I'll show you. Right here, dead smack in the center, is where Abby and Libby's bodies were found. And 60 to 100 yards. That's not on the bridge. That's not on the private drive. That's not up at the cemetery. That's not at Ron Logan's. That is literally in the wooded area where the girls' bodies were found. Who owns that phone? And what were they doing there? Were they staging a crime scene? If you remember, we've got all these sticks that, were laid specifically on the girls. We have one big, massive tree limb that had a clean cut edge as if it had been cut with a saw. Why are we not talking about that person, who that phone belonged to? Go ahead.
Why is it labeled unknown when they've got pages and pages of phone numbers that were provided to them of phones within 5-6 miles? Why is it still labeled unknown device?
Exactly. Just like the unknown male DNA.
Yeah.
Then at 3:02. Now remember, we have this photograph of Abby that we've all been force-fed was taken at 2:07 and 3 seconds. I would love for somebody, especially on the state side or in chat or a naysayer, Rick Allen is guilty person, to provide me the proof that this photo was from this day at this exact time, 2:07. Because when you look at the phone data, there's no proof that there was a photo taken. There's no image file uploaded. There's no thumbnail created. There's no camera app in use. There is an app in the foreground. And then then the phone is locked. And then there's also the huge argument of whether that iPhone could actually record a video with the phone being locked. We spent weeks on that. But if you believe Kelsey in her interviews, one that stands out is Infamous Indy, that she did an interview where she described seeing multiple photos of both girls on the bridge, on the trails that day. One of Libby leaning down. I don't know about any of you guys, but I've never seen that photo. And we have numerous indications in the phone data of app in the foreground, app in the background, app in the foreground, app in the background. And not one of those is an indication of a camera being opened or a photo being taken or a media file being created or a thumbnail being created. An app in the foreground, such as Snapchat, means someone's got Snapchat open. They can be scrolling through stories. They can be reading messages. They can be sending messages. But there is actually nothing. Oh, yes, I can. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Redacted. Yeah, I took it down. And here is kind of a list of things that you would see. The 2:07 and 3 second Snapchat foreground, 2:07:06 camera opened. Didn't see that. 2:07:11 Snapchat created. Database record. Thumbnail generated. Upload started. That chain supports capture. But that's not what we have. We only have 2:07 and 3 seconds Snapchat in the foreground and 2:07 and 30 seconds Snapchat in the background. That does not prove a photo happened. Where are the events that would prove a photo was captured? Therefore, there was a 207 photo because Snapchat was active. That alone would generally be considered insufficient without corroboration artifacts, media, database, records, cache, wall entries, thumbnails, etc. Media file created. We have none of that. Not only with the 207 photo, but with the 205 and 10-second photo. And what's interesting is we have a picture of Abby wearing that same outfit with the baseball glove on somewhere else. But wait a minute, she spent the night at the Patties after going to the park with Libby. And I would have thought that Becky Patty would have, this whole thing is confusing. Let's rewind a little bit and remember that we have 3 different people: Abby's grandpa, Abby's mom, Libby's dad, who all 3 claim that they took Abby to get clothes from her house after a sleepover or wherever they were coming from, because each person's story is different. And then they were taken back to Libby's house. So if those clothes that Abby had been wearing on the 12th, why would she be wearing them on the 13th if she was taken home by 3 different people to gather clothes and art supplies, et cetera, et cetera? Why would she be wearing the same clothes? Number one. Number two, they had to have been washed, right? Because we have now the unknown DNA male from the washing machine being transferred onto the clothes. Not just, well, I'm sorry, but not the clothes, but the actual skin parts of the body, because Libby had on no clothes and she had unidentified male DNA in the same exact locations as Abby, with Abby having clothes on. So which is it? Abby went home and got clothes. We have 3 different people trying to make us believe that she went home and got clothes, art supplies, and then went back to Libby's house, but then got up the next day and put on the same clothes that she had on the 12th. Where did these photos come from? That is a key question. Where did the unknown male DNA come from? And if she was taken home to get, if she was wearing that same maroon sleeveless shirt and those jeans on the 12th, and she went home and got clothes, where are those clothes? And why didn't she have them on? Why would she put back on something that she had on the day before? I don't know. Food for thought. So these are the things that we should have saw when the 207 photo was taken. Here's another 302. Well, I think we just went over it. 60 to 100 yards from the crime scene. 3:02 p.m. is exactly 30 minutes after the BG video started. So whose phone would that have been? I mean, let's just hypothetically say that this person wasn't the BG, but if this unknown phone was being carried by a person who's in the vicinity of 60 to 100 yards of the crime scene, shouldn't they have seen something? Shouldn't they have heard something? I mean, 2 girls being like herded across the creek, possibly naked, made
How
to
many
climb.
yards?
Go ahead.
How many yards would you say the north end of the bridge is from the crime scene? Roughly 100? More?
I think it's So we can look at that. We've gone over that before and I just forget. It's either 500 and some feet. I don't think it's yards. Do you want to look at that? Quester?
I'll have to go check it. I don't know.
Here. I'm pulling it up right now. Can you guys see that? Okay, so let me expand my screen here. So from where the edge of the south end of the bridge is, oh, hold on. Let me do the terrain really quick and adjust that. Okay, so we're there, 2017. Hold on. 2017. So if we do from approximately where the BG video started to the crime scene. Okay, now it says, let's see. So in feet, it's 580 feet. And I'm going to assume that that's not completely accurate because of the terrain. In yards, it's 193 yards, which is almost 2 football fields.
So that unknown phone wasn't anywhere near the drive or the bridge.
That's correct. And in meters, it was 176. So no, it was nowhere near. No, it had to have been either the middle of the creek up towards the crime scene.
Yeah. And why would you be wandering around there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Exactly. And you know, it was such a debauchery when the geofence map was accidentally, and I'm going to say accidentally, turned over by the state. Because if you guys remember correctly, the defense was trying to find out who made the map and what the map explained. And the state acted like, you know, just like with the Turco professor, you know, they didn't know, they don't remember the name, they don't know where he worked, they didn't think they were going to find it. The geofence, we were kind of given the same information. And don't forget, these are unidentified phones. We also have Ron Logan being out there by the bridge at 2:08 p.m.
And they've identified Ron Logan's phone, so therefore this one is not his.
Blue's Clues, Abby, the maroon shirt that Abby had on, she still had it on. She just had the sweatshirt over top of her. Um, 3:27 p.m., we have another unidentified phone at approximately 60 to 100 yards of the crime scene. That's not important. And what's really not important is we were told that Rick Allen saw a van. Well, emphatically, we were told that he saw a white van. So he had to kill the girls because he panicked. And the girls were dead by 2:32 based on the state's narrative. But the state's narrative also includes Sarah Carball, who the state wants us to believe saw a muddy, bloody guy roughly close to, what, a minute or two before 4 p.m. on 300 North. So Rick Allen was so spooked by a van that he killed the girls, but he hung out for another 90 minutes, made sure that the girls' bodies were staged, that that Abby was perfectly redressed, and the sticks were laid precisely to conceal them, which they didn't even conceal 10% of either body of the girls. But let's just remember that years before Rick Allen was arrested, this whole white van scenario played out right before our eyes, with Dr. Walla participating in multiple YouTube creators' chats, multiple Delphi Facebook groups, and interacting with Gray Hughes. And it was discussed how this what if narrative happens. And we have it right here. This post was made 5 years ago. White van in the end of the trail. Has that been investigated? Is it possible that it is the unsubs van? Grandmother of 5 comments, white van in at the end of the trail. I don't see any other information regarding this one sentence. Hold on. Sorry. I'm trying to expand this to make it bigger.
Hello, Clarice.
This post was made 5 years ago. White van in the end of the trail. Has that been investigated? Is it possible that it is the unsubs van? Grandmother of 5 comments, white van in at the end of the trail. I don't see any other information regarding this one sentence. Can you elaborate further? Are you trying to say someone saw a white van at the end of the trail that day? Thanks. Quester, is this Dr. Walla?
So I am told, Queen of Hearts, or Sharks as it says here. And I'll be led to believe that it is Walla.
And and the thing is this is just a rumor, okay? This is a rumor.
It's a rumor.
Might be a decent rumor, but it's a rumor, nevertheless, okay? So what if, Richard Allen at the crime scene, when he told one of his psychologists that maybe he saw something specific while he was at the crime scene and why he sped things along and ran away. For example, what if he saw maybe Kay Weber's son driving home in his van and told the psychologist that exact thing, and it's shown that his van did show up exactly at that time? Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing? Yeah. What if he said, while he was at the crime scene, he saw the van and he got nervous and he killed him and he ran away? And it happens to be Kay Weber's son, perhaps. Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah. Wouldn't that be absolutely nuts? If he actually had a specific fact that nobody else would really even know that he was telling the psychologist? I think that'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it?
What's interesting is that the only person that would know that Rick Allen told Walla that back then would be Walla.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person who could then tell Gray Hughes would be Walla. So therefore, Walla was already breaching patient confidentiality, breaching the confidentiality of the case. And that was years before the trial.
Yeah, and let me give credit to Classic Overthinker for giving her the credits for that compilation that she put together. But the fact that, the whole idea that, he rushed things along and then ran away. 90 minutes later, he ran away.
And of course, he was panicking so much with his heart condition that he decided to run through a fast-flowing, freezing, very deep creek, herding 2 fairly fit girls in front of him, and then spend a lot of time on the other side, setting the whole picture up. That's how panicked he was.
I'm just trying to imagine for those of us who think that, is there a possibility that Rick was this muddy guy? Because remember, he was muddy. for the first several interviews. And then all of a sudden he was also bloody. And then by Sarah Carball's last interview, he was so bloody that he looked like he slaughtered a pig. A grown man, regardless of height, wearing denim jeans that had gone through a 3.5 foot to 4 foot creek, what he would have looked like. There was no description of this man looked wet. What are we supposed to believe that his jeans dried that fast? We heard muddy. Well, I've been to the crime scene, and I can tell you there's not a 2-story elevation coming out of the creek where the crime scene is to the crime scene. It's not a 2-story elevation at all. And a grown man wearing boots like the ones that we see the BG wearing, those boots and the ankle area of the jeans should have been muddy. But for the rest of it, no. And when you look at the injuries of the girls, especially Libby, I'm going to need someone to show me an actual reenactment of the crime scene that doesn't involve Libby's injuries being inflicted by any other than a frontal attack. I'm just saying, think about the injuries to Libby. And you've got Abby over here to the side. You've got people on the Monon High Bridge. The sound travels. The trees are bare. It's February. There's not a lot of cover. Are we supposed to believe that a perpetrator was behind Libby and held on to her and held her neck and head back and cut her 4 to 5 times vertically on her neck? No defensive wounds, no screaming. Abby's just standing there watching. I mean, make it make sense. None of this makes sense. And Abby, I mean, she's fully redressed. Her Converse shoes are on. And yeah, I mean, the ISP lab tech described her shoes as being dirty, but I don't believe that they were algae, muddy, rock-filled swamp water dirty. They were just dirty. But if you've not seen the crime scene photos, I'm here to tell you that Libby's feet are clean. So if the girls were forced to undress on the other side of the creek, as the state's narrative kind of alludes to, because there's that 7-minute non-movement in the Apple Health data. Like, here's what pisses me off about this case when it comes to the state and the people who say that Rick Allen is guilty. They disregard every aspect of this case that throws a wrenched hang wire in the state's narrative. We don't care whose unidentified phone was out there. We don't care whose unidentified DNA it was on the girls and their private parts at the crime scene. We don't care about the sticks that replicate some sort of odonistic rune or an imagery that, somebody who was familiar with odinists thought, let me just throw the investigators off. All of those things, get shot out the window. And then they take all of the specifics that the state claimed and they hang on to it like a lifeline. None of it makes sense. And the state's narrative alone They shoot themselves in the foot every single time they make a turn, starting with the 4-girl group. Then you've got the 3-girl group that we know for a fact the state was aware of. We know for a fact the FBI interrogated Emily Collier while she was incarcerated at the Carroll County Jail. The state knew that there was a group of 3 girls. The state knew that they had an eyewitness who called in and said they saw a group of 4 girls at 1 p.m. down on the Hoosier Heartland, fucking around, and then walking towards Main Street at 1 p.m. Well, who is that 4-girl group? Because it couldn't have been the 4-girl group that Rayleigh was in, if you believe the bench photo was taken at 1:26. It couldn't have been the 3-girl group because this person identifies 4 girls. Make it make sense. It is so frustrating why people choose to believe what's being spoon-fed to them without any facts to back it up, who continuously play the game, hide the ball, the untrustworthiness in this case when it comes to law enforcement in the prosecutor's office is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. So I've shown you, that we have unidentified phones out there. Then we have more. We have another one at 5:49 p.m. That's not important. I mean, whoever this was out there at 5:49 and the one before that at 3:27 should have been trampling right over top of the crime scene. Right? I mean, if you believe Nick McClelland, the girls were dead by 2:32 p.m. The phone had stopped moving, according to Nick McClelland. According to Stacey Eldred, she stated on numerous interviews she wasn't asked the right questions by the defense. She alluded to the fact that she had more information that provided facts that the phone continued to move. But because I'm assuming the battery was so depleted, certain aspects of the movement of the phone had stopped recording to preserve battery life. But that's, I'm not a phone expert. Just make it make sense. Another thing that's indicative of this case, we have this perfectly aligned GPS list of areas providing us where the girls were leaving the Patty's house at 500 North. And we have all of these locations. Oh, sorry. We have all these locations throughout the drive to the trails. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. But then the girls get to the trails and all of a sudden, everything starts to go haywire. We don't know where the girls were, which direction they went, until that miraculous GPS ping on the trail where the girls hold steady in the same place for 13 minutes. We've been over that. We've talked about it. Then we have
in fact, we lost the GPS trail from while they were in the car, didn't we? Before they supposedly got to the trails. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when we look at the AT&T report, the the last quarter of the leg of the drive to actually where Kelsey pulls up to the Mears lot is missing. The only thing that kind of gives us a linear timeline with these locations is the fact that Libby's phone was plugged into charge and then it was unplugged. And then shortly after, Kelsey is seen on the Hoosier Harvest Store camera. But the girls, like, we don't see their route of travel. Did they walk up the Mears lot? Did they cut up and over and go through the field where the old tractor was? And the reason I say that again is because the area next to the Mears lot in that field where the old tractor was taped off with crime scene tape. We were never told why. And then the girls appear on the trails where they stand in place for approximately 13 minutes. Then we have the AT&T report. I'm not going to sit here and go over all of this. We've gone over it before, but there's a thousand reasons why we have these 6 different GPS coordinates listed in the AT&T report, and none of them prove the phone was moving during the course of the evening while the girls were missing, but none of them prove the phone wasn't moving. What I can tell you is that none of these GPS coordinates place the phone at the crime scene under Abby. This data sheet right here, screenshot it, look up the coordinates for yourself. You will see none of these coordinates. There are six sections of this. And they're blocked out. You can see none of these 6 have AT&T locating the phone at the crime scene. Number 1. What we do have is family members giving interviews to the news media that night saying the phone was pinging all over town. Well, guess where that came from? This report right here. Number 3, Find My iPhone was enabled. Make that make sense, Becky Patty. Both sides of the creek were searched, yet no bodies were found. A drone with a heat infrared sensor on it was put up and was able to see searchers walking about, was able to see animals running about, but not Abby and Libby, who at that time, between 5 and 7 p.m. in the evening, their body temperatures should have registered.
And a certain person in his kayak went through there at about that time as well and didn't see any clothes in the water.
Mm-hmm.
But he did see the young lad on the bridge because he helped with the sketch.
And let's not forget about the early morning hours of the 14th. Giannicola turning people away from searching the crime scene area, saying, you need to turn around and go back. This area has already been searched. But we can back up a few more hours, and let's not forget the 2 a.m. 911 call that came in about blood-curdling screams being heard in the vicinity of the crime scene. And the caller was told, "We're busy. We can't come out at this time." Again, make it make sense. Okay, so this report right here, this AT&T report, and the 6 different categories of the coordinates of the phone where it registered as pings. Just let me remind everybody that there's only one cell tower in Delphi, and that's on Wells Street that was working. So the Wells cell phone tower was what was being utilized to extract these key location points. These are the different locations that the phone pinged at. Doesn't necessarily mean the phone was moving. I can tell you that the interference of incoming calls, text messages, SMS messages, Facebook, voicemails could make these longitude and latitude numbers pop up. It could change things. However, if you look at right here on the left-hand side, dead center, red dot with the yellow line coming from it where it says down the hill video location 141351. Quester put that there as a location identifier. But none of the AT&T pings came within a 60 to 100 yard vicinity of the actual crime scene. That needs to be explained. This goes back to the CAD report of the witness who called in saying that she saw 4 girls running amok on the Hoosier Heartland. And the only way to get down to the Hoosier Heartland would be to travel through that canal area that I took a video of when I was there. And she said possibly 4 girls. Could have been 3. At 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Who could this be? I don't think that it could be the Rayleigh Voorhees and the Bree Wilbur group, because it was well after 1 o'clock that Betsy Blair came back from the library, and she claimed she saw the girls over top of the railroad bridge. So who was this group of girls? So questions? Quester, I'm running to the restroom really quick, and then we're going to get into your document. So give me 1 second.
Question time again. What have we got? Start chucking them, guys. Trial junkie. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Show you how the water runs upstream. As far as I know, it's always run downstream.
Okay, I'm back.
When was the Grey Hughes clip aired? Do you remember?
So I think that video originated, I believe, in 2022, and it said, or 2022 or 2023, and it said 5 years ago. We know that Dr. Walla had been circulating throughout the Facebook groups and YouTube creators for a very long time under a fake name. And the white van scenario had been, I mean, that originated with the start of the case, because there was the white boxcar that was out there not far from the Packers plant. There was rumors of someone running around in a white van that was passing out candy. But at the end of the day, when you go back through Detective Hammond and Walla's testimony, never did Rick ever say a white van. It was just a van. And again, let me reiterate that, Rick Allen was recorded 24 hours a day in his cell, anytime he was transported, right down to when he was meeting with his attorneys in the interview room. They had him positioned facing the glass window. They were zoomed in on him. But this, this God-sent interview that he gave to Dr. Walla and confessed to killing Abby and Libby, and there was a white van who scared him. So he rushed things along and he killed the girls because he was frightened. But then he hung around for 90 minutes and made sure that Abby was, redressed and Libby was staged correctly. And then he made the long trek up to God knows where, how he got out of the woods, and then walked carefree right up 300 North, heading straight into the Mears lot where the entire family was standing in complete disarray because the girls were missing. And never once was this Rick Allen, muddy, bloody guy, ever captured on any of, at the time in 2017, at least 4 cameras on the Hoosier Harvest store. But Nikki said so must be true. Valencian Liberty, Sarah Carball described the person that she saw bloody, I think in her 3rd or 4th interview. He was so bloody, he looked like he slaughtered a pig. But she also said that she knew the girls were missing because she got an Amber Alert. Well, she's the only person in America who got an Amber Alert because Tobe Lesenby had determined that Abby and Libby were just off fucking around, running around town because, according to him, they had done that before and weren't where they were supposed to be. So they didn't fit the criteria for an Amber Alert. That's why he called off the search dogs. So, and then just so happened that the funds were raised for a reward, a very substantial reward, before Sarah Carball decided to pull over at a checkpoint and give officers the information about her muddy, bloody guy. Okay, so now let's get into Quester.
Yes. Oh, that. Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to read it?
Well, can you give us an overview really quick?
An overview of that. It addresses 2 things. Number 1, what was going on with the phones, plural, and 2, what makes me say plural. This is based on information that was not released by Cecil and was not even mentioned by the state. but it's pretty important, wouldn't you say, Amy?
Yes, I mean, so this is one of those situations where it's kind of like that. It's that game that you would play. I don't know what the name of the game is called, where all the little heads pop up out of the holes and you pound them down. This is us pounding down all of the different scenarios of what could possibly be going on with the phones. And for a long time, I have agreed with Quester that there was manipulation. And when I say manipulation, I don't mean that in the sense that law enforcement or anybody of the like had anything to do with the manipulation. When we say manipulation, what we're talking about is the fact that there was more than one phone connected to Libby's phone account, iCloud account, iPhone account. And we know that Libby did, by all accounts, it's not my rumor, it came directly from the family, out of the mouth of Becky Patty and Tara, that the phone did a factory reset on February 4th. And we know, based on their words, the factory reset was done because the phone was glitching. And Libby wanted to get rid of a lot of the stuff on the phone so the phone would function normally. So the factory reset was done on the 4th. And there was not, as far as I can tell, as far as I've seen, and based on the imagery that Cecil provided of the home screen and the different apps that were on the phone, there was no iPhone backup to the cloud, meaning that makes sense. You don't do a factory reset on your phone and then turn around and do a backup of all the same shit you just tried to get rid of. So everything that was added to the phone after February 4th, my opinion is it was manually added. She added her Facebook, she added her Snapchat, she added her Facebook, whatever apps were on the phone with a limited version that was on the phone prior to February 4th. And the one thing that she did do was, we now know, she linked an older iPhone 5S to her account, which falls absolutely in line with the fact that we had been made to believe for years that Abby wasn't allowed to have a phone, but they provided her a phone to utilize while she was over there hanging out. That phone, connected to Wi-Fi, could do anything and everything that Libby's phone could do. And I have discussed this a long time ago. I've got 2 daughters. I have done gazillions and gazillions of sleepovers, birthday parties, hangouts, Sunday cookouts, whatever the case may be. And I am going to stand firm on the fact that you put 2 girls in the same room and only one girl has a phone, she is not going to be willing to hand her phone over to her friend for an ungodly length amount of time for text messages, conversations, emails, Facebooking messages, Snapchat stories, Snapchat messages, all of the above under the umbrella of a phone. No. Give me back my phone. You can send the text, but give me back my phone. But if Abby was over there as a frequent visitor at the Patty residence and they had an extra cell phone that she could access Libby's Snapchat account, she had her own Facebook account. We know now that Abby had her own Instagram account, and we know that because at 1 something in the morning on February 14th, She got a request to follow from, lo and behold, Bree Wilbur. Well, if 75% of Abby's life didn't have access to a phone, what would be the point of having all of these accounts in her own name? Unless she had access to a phone that had access to Wi-Fi. That's all that she needed. And I know what Anna has claimed. I know what Anna has said emphatically, that, Abby wasn't allowed to have a phone. Okay, well, was Abby allowed to have a boyfriend? Was Abby allowed to have a Facebook account? Was Abby allowed to have access to Snapchat? Was Abby allowed to have an Instagram account? Those things matter when you're dealing with teenage girls who will have a will and then need to find a way. And there was absolutely a iPhone 5S that was connected manually to Libby's phone. Come hell or high water, I will never concede to that jacket pocket on the bridge of Abby walking, that it be anything else in her pocket but a phone. It's not the stitching of a pocket. I don't know what else it could be. And when you hear Kelsey in her infamous Indie interview describe seeing pictures of Libby on the bridge, who took those pictures? Or were they just passing a phone back and forth? I'm sorry, but teenage girls don't function that way. They don't share a phone. Not for more than 10 minutes. Especially when they both are, I'm sorry, but the fact of the matter is, both girls were sharing nude photos. Both were having conversations with boys. And that's a fact. So everybody needs to stop pretending that this case cannot be egregious as it is. And was law enforcement trying to protect them? Maybe. But at the expense of not finding their killer, not charging their killer? I don't know. And that's not going to be really for any of us to decide. What's up to decide is how much public pressure we're going to put on the state of Indiana to provide us the factual information that we're all thirsty for, and give the man that you've convicted a fair trial. So, okay, so we're going to get into this document. I'm going to have to pull my screen a little bit closer, so I'm going to turn my camera off so you're not, not up in your face. Hold on. Okay, so the iPhone can create its own Wi-Fi local network using the personal hotspot feature, allowing other devices to connect to the internet and send, receive data, audio, video, etc., through the iPhone cellular data connection, allowing devices to find each other and communicate seamlessly. At 1:38, Cecil's report says the found phone was unlocked at 1:38:35. The Apple mobile app was opened. At 1:38:36, the DNSR responder/com.apple mobile address book was now in use. This was not on Cecil's list. To explain the importance of this event, it is simple to separate this into a component process. Number one, the DNSR responder.com multicast DNS responder. This is a background process that supports Apple's Bonjour technology. It is also an alternative to Bonjour and facilitates discovery and connection of devices on a local network. It is primarily for communicating with other devices on the same network. Printers, smart loudspeakers, iPads, and other smart equipment. This includes streaming, casting audio or video to compatible devices. Access is controlled by permissions that apps must request to interact with devices on your local network. So, the authorized device will have the ability to use the donor phone's account, meaning the phone that was providing the hotspot, and to exchange created data, including SMS, photos, videos, etc., even without the donor phone operator being uninvolved. Imagine it as turning on the power to an electric lock on your front door. The door is then able to be opened, providing the passcode is entered by an authorized person. That's a good analogy. Number two, Apple Mobile Address Book. This is the bundle identifier for the Contacts app on an iPhone. Put simply, it's the list of devices authorized to access the iPhone account. So the found phone was preparing to allow access to its personal hotspot by an authorized device by checking what was authorized. At 1:38:39 seconds, the DNSR responder/.com Apple Mobile Local was now in use. Again, this was not on Cecil's list. Let's separate the important event again. The DNSR responder, this was explained above. The Apple, I can't read that word. Hold on. The Apple Mobile, I think it's the address book. This relates to calendar synchronization and network services by enabling devices to find each other without need for a central DNS server. Put simply, the phone is now ready to accept and enable another authorized device. All it now requires is for the said authorized device to provide the password, and it will have access to the found phone's hotspot, local network, and account facilities. So Cecil and/or the state chose to hide the fact that a smart device was linked to the found phone. To share network access, enable it to call others, and send and receive created audio video data, including to the found phone. What was so important about this device that it had to be hidden? A loudspeaker, for example, would not be important and could be explained easily. It follows that device was far more than a loudspeaker. As Abby and Libby were about to leave the patties, it is possible, perhaps likely, this device was a phone held by Abby, and it was being linked in preparation for the outing. Remember, Abby was not allowed to have a phone by her mother and did not have a phone account. While at the patties, Abby was lent a phone by Becky Patty and used it via their Wi-Fi, but once at the trail, that Wi-Fi would be out of range. So a hotspot local network would be the only way to keep Abby's phone active. Abby had accounts on several social media platforms. Kelsey German said Abby had a phone lent by Becky Patty. Becky Patty and Cody Patty said this too. Abby had her own tablet and used an old tablet of Libby's. We know that the questionable photo of Abby on the Monon High Bridge, there is a phone viable in her pocket. A second phone, while also we know that in the crime scene photos, which the state and law enforcement have never explained, there's possibly a phone clearly visible near Abby's head. Remember, the found phone was supposed to be under her body, under a shoe. Also, Libby's phone was purple, whereas the one in the photo is undeniably white or light gray. And both Cody Patty and Becky Patty stated that Abby had a phone. Becky Patty said she lent it to Abby. We also know that the fire chief Sternett told the what is his name?
Sterrett. Yeah.
My glasses aren't doing me justice right now. Sterrett told the press that at about 12:30 on February
2:30. 2:30.
Oh, 2:30. That at 2:30 on February 14th, 2017, Sheriff Lesenby had contacted him requesting some lighting in the area of the Monon High Bridge. Sterrett also said Lesenby told him he had been notified that a cell tower had picked up a signal from one of the girls' cell phones. One of the girls' cell phones. That's the key component there. So it is undeniable that a second phone was there, known to be held by Abby. Why has the existence of that other phone been suppressed? One second later, at 1:38 and 40 seconds, Cecil's list says that the audio output route started. Either the second phone or the found phone was now utilizing an audio output. Possibly it was a connection to a loudspeaker in the car to play music recording. 9 seconds later, at 1:38 and 49 seconds, Cecil's list says the found phone made an outgoing call to Daddy O. A call on an iPhone is classed as an audio output. Audio from a call can be sent to output devices, for example, speakers or headphones, but an iPhone will only support one audio output device at a time. It cannot use multiple audio outputs simultaneously. For example, if it is outputting to a loudspeaker, it cannot also output to headphones. With an incoming call, it will typically interrupt other audio outputs by the called phone. To allow the call to be addressed, then reinstate the interrupted audio output when the call ends. But this is an outgoing call, so the output would have to be curtailed first. But the 3:38 and 40-second audio output had not been and was not ended. How could the call have been made? Unless at 1:38 and 40 seconds, audio output was not by the found phone, but in fact by the second phone, and it simply registered in found phone's data files as an audio output, not as an actual in-progress found phone one. This once again shows that at least two phones were utilizing Liberty's account. So do we want to go to the chat? Is everybody listening?
Have we lost everyone?
That's a lot of tech.
unfortunately. If anyone in the chat didn't catch any of the techie stuff, give us a shout and we'll see if we can explain it to you.
It's just indicative of some of the phone. A secondary phone is the most, in my opinion, is the most plausible reason for all of the questionable data with the found phone.
Yeah, it's basically saying there can be no other explanation for what was going on. This data, which Cecil chose not to tell us, is pretty damning. There was a second phone there, at least a second, who knows, maybe a third.
In the PDF, Laura, right here, you might have to screenshot and zoom in. There is, and the blue box there is covering Abby's head. There is a possibility that what we're seeing in these two images that Quest are included in this PDF could possibly be another phone up by Abby's shoulders at the crime scene. We can't say for sure, but you
If
can.
not, it certainly looks like one, doesn't it?
It absolutely does look like one.
Right size, right shape.
I mean, the most frustrating thing about this case is that we were led to believe certain things for years. And then by the time we got to trial, the state wanted us to forget everything that we'd been led to believe. Multiple bad actors, a non-secular crime scene, bodies moved and staged. We were told for years that Abby, had access to a phone when she was at the Patties. We were told for years that Libby had an iPhone Gold, a rose gold phone. Everything went out the window at trial. And it was a force-fed narrative by the state that we're calling out, flat out. I don't care who you are. These things are undeniable, in question. And we're not saying that we are 100% factual with what we're discussing, but we are definitely putting all of the cards on the table and asking you to accept the fact that any of these different scenarios are possible and why any of these different scenarios make the story make sense. All right, so back to the document. Let's see.
I bet you've forgotten where you got to.
Then at 138.49, Cecil's list says several audio outputs were in use. Several means more than two. The fact that the found phone was at the time performing an outgoing call means that these several outputs could not be via that phone, which means it's to simplify it and dumb it down, guys. For those of you who have an iPhone, if you are on your phone and you're making an outgoing call, you cannot be on your phone listening to the phone ring as you're making the phone call and have your phone plugged into a speaker and music being played, or earbuds in and you're listening to, for example, Case by Case on YouTube in your earbud while the same phone is making a phone call. That's not possible. We're not there yet. That's what that paragraph is explaining. There's too many audio inputs and outputs happening for it all to be happening on the same phone. And the only explanation that we can find that makes sense is that the phone data that we have was a culmination of two different phones being used on the same account. We know that Kelsey German was in the car and she claimed that at 1:38, she initiated a call. which she claimed was to her boyfriend, but we have no proof that it was. So the very same second that the several outputs began, Kelsey German made a call. That's a big coincidence. Same time, same place, big enough to suggest that Kelsey German was one of the several. I see nothing overtly sinister in Libby allowing her sister to link to her network, especially if she thought she could still convince Kelsey to go onto the trails with her. So that is suggesting that we've got Libby in the car with her phone. We have Abby utilizing a phone that the Patties had lent to her that was connected to Libby's hotspot. And then you have Kelsey, who's the driver of the car, whose phone is more than likely linked to the same Patty account, making phone calls, etc., etc. We know after the girls went missing and Kelsey showed up to meet with law enforcement, she had access to all of Libby's social media accounts. So that's 3 phones right there that we can say there is a high probability that all 3 phones were linked together, accessing the same account, hotspot via iPhone account, via the iPhone cloud account. It's very, I mean, it makes things a lot simpler to make all of this make sense, to be honest. Initially, I thought I could discount Derek German because he was on the call with Liberty. Plus, he had said he was in Cutler at the time of the cell, and the range of an iPhone hotspot is similar to that of a standard Wi-Fi, about 30 to 100 feet, 9 to 30 meters. But then I realized that if Derek German had lied and wasn't in Cutler, we have no real evidence he was there, only his say-so. But close by, say still in the house, and was linked in, the phone responding might register as an audio output on the found phone too. So I can't positively discount Derek German as one of the several outputs. I see nothing overly sinister in Libby allowing her dad to link to her hotspot either, though maybe a bit unusual. It seems the Patty family all utilized one phone account, Becky Patty's business one, but had their own social media accounts. This mightly confused the task of establishing what was going on with the found phone. At 1:38 and 28 seconds, Cecil's list says audio output route ended. It interestingly doesn't say how many of the several ended, but we do know that at that very same time, Libby's call with Derek German ended. These occurring at the same moment further tends to suggest that Derek German's call was one or perhaps 2 of the outputs. At 1:38 and 29, Cecil's list says the found phone's Apple mobile phone app closed, which would well be the end of the Derek German call. Also, at around 1:38, there are several thumbnails on the phone data. Number 1, the show pig Aaron. This is, we've located who this person is in Libby's phone data. There is an Aaron Scott associated with the Scott Farm Company, Show Pigs, which is 8 to 9 miles from the Monon High Bridge and about 5 from the Patties. She was a Facebook and Instagram friend account of Libby's, Show Pig Aaron, with pictures of pigs and of Abby and Libby. Some were liked by, does that say the Shanks?
It does.
She was on Liberty's Facebook and Instagram friends in 2017. But then at some point, by 2022, she was removed.
Yep.
Aaron's Show Pig Aaron. Number 2, Caddy Bush. This is Caddy Bush, who was a pupil at the Delphi High School with Abby and Libby. She doesn't appear to have been on Libby's Facebook or Instagram friends list in 2017. Unknown if she was on Abby's.
The reason I point out that she's not on Libby's is if she's not on the friends, whose friend was she? On what phone?
Bree Wilbur, Kelsey German's best friend and one of the group of 4 girls who were on the trail. Note that this was not the bogus empty bridge photo assigned to Bree, supposedly viewed and downloaded by the found phone 5 minutes later at 1:44 and 44 seconds. None of these thumbnails, pictures, or thumbnail file addresses were on Cecil's phone data on Cecil's phone list. None were mentioned in trial. So first, where and what are these pictures and thumbnails?
Interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting. The most likely answer is, where is that IG picture? Where is that? The Instagram picture were accessed on a linked phone, then stored upon that. And the auto thumbnails also went onto the found phone data. Auto thumbnails generally select a part or the whole of a photo to be the thumbnail. So the pictures should be identifiable from the found phone data. As to what, we can't say without seeing them, or if Show Pig Aaron or Caddy Bush and Bree Wilbur Talk Bree only was called into trial. Why wasn't she asked? Why was she never mentioned what she posted at the time? Why did the state choose to hide these and the fact that the Caddy Bush and the Show Pig Aaron existed, and hide that these photos or pictures were downloaded by Abby's phone, apparently? If they are totally innocent and irrelevant, why did the state need to suppress them? Could it be because they also show the existence of another phone? To me, it all says that law enforcement and the state were determined to hide the existence of Abby's phone. The only reason I can see to do that would be to hide something on it, obviously something that was important, and that it be so it represents suppression of evidence. And if that evidence undermined any part of the state's case, even identified a possible third party, then it could also represent perverting justice. So I want to make sure that everybody in the chat understands what that just explained.
You were okay with it, weren't you, Amy?
I'm very okay with it because it is something that, well, I can honestly say it's something that I've experienced myself. So in prime example, the last trip that I took to Delphi, I had my personal phone with me, and I had my old iPhone with me as well. And I had deleted everything off my old iPhone, and I took it with me so I could utilize it for taking video and photographs, which I did. However, once I came home and started to go through the footage and the video, I realized that everything that I had taken on my old iPhone that didn't have service, I could connect to Wi-Fi, but I couldn't make a phone call. The video and the photographs that I took on that phone were also on my personal phone that I didn't want on my personal phone. That was the sole purpose that I took my extra old iPhone, so I wouldn't add all of those hours of video footage that I was taking. I wanted them on a separate device, and I'm like, this makes sense, because they shared. When I got my new phone, I never went in and deleted my iPhone 11 from my account. So I know that this is possible. And in this scenario, it fills a lot of the gaps that we've been wanting answers to. What makes sense? And the odd GPS locations, the missing photographs, but photographs being uploaded to Libby's iPhone or her Snapchat account that aren't in Libby's phone. But if there was another phone with the girls and a photograph was taken and it was linked to Libby's Snapchat account and there was a photo uploaded from there, that makes perfect sense. And I guess going forward, what we need a forensic phone expert to review that hypothesis. Is this a thing? Is what I'm seeing in this phone data indicative of it cross-communicating with another iPhone? That's what it boils down to. Going through the chat.
Now, if you accept that is what was happening, that really says that unless you get hold of that second phone, you cannot trust a single thing on those data lists, can you? It could be either phone. Correct. The only one that's going to tell you which one it is by having the other phone.
Correct.
And I think we can bet bottom dollar law enforcement have got that second phone because it was there.
I believe so too. I really do. And
again, it's one of those, why on earth are they hiding it? Surely that would have clarified a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And we can be absolutely in left field over here. We can be absolutely wrong. That doesn't change the questions or the gaps in the phone data, does it? We're giving you rationalism of information that absolutely fills these gaps. And all we're asking you to do is keep your mind open to what all of this could mean and the damage that law enforcement could have done to this case if they found a secondary phone that, hell, we have no idea what that secondary phone could have captured, who it could have captured. Did it have, once the girls went down the hill, did it actually capture the bridge guy's real face? Or the multiple people that we believe were out there to harm the girls because this was a setup? We just don't know.
Does it record the people who are arranging to meet? We just won't know. Because all the chats that Libby's supposed to have had, for instance, with Kevin Klein, what's that on the other phone?
Yeah, where are those?
Yeah.
Detective Vito was absolutely emphatical that they had proof that Keegan had communicated with the girls. on the morning that this happened on the 13th. And I'm sorry, but that 13-minute gap where I believe the girls stood still on the trails were them waiting for instructions. Where are you? Which way should we go? We're here. What were the
Yeah,
girls
I think
doing?
so too.
You've got app in focus, app in the background, app in focus, app in the background, app in focus, over and over and over again for 13 minutes. Sit quietly and twiddle your thumbs for 13 minutes. That's a long time. It's a long time. 13 minutes is a long time. And the meters of the GPS on that trail put the girls completely out of range at 2:05 and 8 seconds from the Monon High Bridge. When you're factoring in the meters of error that the GPS allotted for. They were over 300 meters from the Monon High Bridge at 2:05 and 8 seconds. They are exactly where Betsy Blair claimed she saw them, which was midway from the Monon High Bridge to the Mears lot. Yet, 2 seconds later, we have the empty bridge photo being uploaded to Libby's Snapchat. A photo that is highly suspect to be a duplicate of a photo that was taken in 2008. Is that two teenage girls trying to be slick with it because they know they're not supposed to be out there meeting up with teenage boys, maybe planning on hopping in a car and going somewhere? Was the empty bridge photo uploaded to Libby's Snapchat to provide proof of we are here where we're supposed to be, doing what we're supposed to be doing? The questions are insurmountable about that photo. But they're not if you consider the fact that that empty bridge photo came from a media file from the phone. A media file means that that photo came from the camera roll. Did Libby acquire that empty bridge photo from somewhere else and had it in her camera roll? And at 2:05 and 10 seconds, uploaded it to her Snapchat. So the audience of her Snapchat would believe that they were at the North End first plank getting ready to step up onto the Monon High Bridge. And if that photo wasn't taken in real time at 2:05 and 10 seconds, like we were told that it was, then we can't believe that the bridge was empty.
It's very hard to believe anything when they're hiding stuff like this.
Correct. Thank you, Wellington, for becoming a new member of the channel. So that's all we've got for today. And so for America Betrayed, I do my second recording at 4:30. I'm assuming that will be out in the next day or so. So I will post that when it becomes available. And then tomorrow, I go on with Bob Ruff, Truth and Justice, to talk about Ashley Garth's case. And Quester and I have a case file here that we need to go through for another person who is asking for help, who claims they're innocent. And we have to thumb through all of this information. So we will keep you posted. Quester, really quick, we should have an update tomorrow on Monday about the autopsy and the cause of death in the Elena Moore case.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see.
So you guys, Quester and I did a live about the Elena Moore case last week. And then about an hour after we got off our live, her body was discovered under a bridge in South Carolina. Very sad case, but very suspicious. But her autopsy was held yesterday at 10 a.m. in the morning, and her cause of death is supposed to be released tomorrow. So if the cause of death isn't of self-inflicted harm, we will probably continue to cover that case. But either way, it's a very sad case. Very strange.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, happy Father's Day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go downstairs and make sure my kitchen's in working order. We have stuff getting ready to go on the grill, and then I'm doing my interview, and then I'm going to eat dinner. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Quester, last words?
Not a lot. Take care, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Yep. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.